So I'm finally getting back to the SL. I've been working on that 124 for a while, and it's really nice. I like the car a lot. But I got the hydraulic cylinders in finally. So let me show you what we got. Yeah, so here's everything from Top Hydraulics. So I just got everything rebuilt, and everything's really nice in these nicely organized by part number. There's the part. So I'm going to be going over and redoing all the cylinders here, replacing all the cylinders. All right, this is my first look at the soft top. I had to use the tool to get the cylinders open so I can get the tonneau cover open. So I did that and just kind of put the roof up, and this is my first look at it, and it's looking pretty bad. That plastic is messed up, so I don't know. The canvas seems okay, so it's a starting point. The roof wouldn't go up by itself though, so I'll have to check that out. That could be like Microswitch is not firing or whatever, I don't know. Getting started with the cylinder replacement. So basically we got everything apart on the front to get to all the pieces I need. So there's the front, left and right lock cylinders, and then this is the distributor. So there are seals around each of those lines. So I got a rebuilt unit for those. And yeah, Klaus is great at Top Hydraulics. So you can see everything's labeled when you get it. So replacement should be really super duper easy. Basically, he has videos for all of this, so I'm not going to show all of that, but you got your 3 screws. Once you get those loose, you can pop these off with a screwdriver, take the lines out, and they are numbered, and so he'll talk about those numbers in the videos. And then you just put your new unit in. So this one's leaking. I don't know if it shows it on here, but there's definitely, maybe it's been drying. It's been, yeah, this is the part where you put your tool in here. You can actuate it manually with the Mercedes tool. So anyways, yeah, gonna start doing that, but getting all the stuff off it's a pain in the ass. So I've just been taping everything back to where it goes. Got that off without a problem. Mirror, that's easy, you just pull it down. Yeah, this kind of overhead console, no problems there. Yeah, this is where you're gonna break these pieces. I think those are always broken. And then too, you know, I need to get like the new hinges on here, so. And yeah, one of my favorite ones is just all the clips that you're gonna find. Some of them you get lucky, and then some of them break, and then you're gonna have to JB weld it. So I'm sure it happens with other cars too, but definitely not my favorite thing. And then while I was here, I did replace the A-pillar trim, so I had an extra of that because the old one was peeling. So let me show that. Here's the old one, and yeah, it's just peeling off at the end. It just looked kind of silly, so I replaced it. Actually got it off without breaking any of the clips. That was cool. First time I've ever done that. Putting it in, I broke one of the clips, but it still held in there pretty nicely. So I'm calling it good. And then there's also a piece that goes over it to secure it right here too. And that's an interesting piece. There's basically like a clip, and this headliner piece that goes in has a circle on it that you push into those, and then that's how it will stay in place. But yeah, so far so good. So just gonna start swapping these out, and then I can probably show it right here. You can use that Mercedes tool. You know, my roof wasn't working. There's a little gap down in here with a lock. And you just put this tool in there, turn it towards the rear. It's all in the manual too. When you have the distributor and you need to do that one, you're going to want to have the cylinders loose even if you replaced them. So here's my replacement parts. You know, I'm like, oh great, You could secure them down, but you don't want to because you need to be able to get enough slack to pull the lines out of the distributor. Down here I just have those unplugged, and then they're just dripping onto the cloth. And then you just kind of wedge them back in here. So this right here, I'm going to connect the top parts first, and then put it down through, and then get those two connections last. So that's just a tip, because otherwise you're going to have to go and undo all your torques and all that stuff. So this is a pretty important one. Basically, when you get these clips, if you watch the videos by Top Hydraulics, it talks about the barbed end. That's this part right here, this side. The other side's a little shorter. They'll both go in no problem, but you're gonna want to do the barbed end in as the one that goes against the, so see I'm putting the barbed end in. And then when that goes in and slides in, it'll stay in place. Yeah, so you'll want to do that, but the thing that's like a big tip too, besides that, is when you go to do these lock cylinders, put the lines in first, then put the clips on, then push it through. Don't do the tonneau lift first. I mean, you can do it, but just leave it like this. It's better to just do that than to mess with it and try to drop things a bunch of times. Also on this one, where the tonneau lift is at, basically this one uses an E-clip, and I found out that's 5mm. I was trying to put 4mm ones on here, and they're flying everywhere. I lost them. It was just a really bad time. I got a 5mm one. It slipped right on there, and I used just some small pliers for that. I just used the needle nose pliers to compress it down. Super easy. Didn't fly off once. Didn't have any problems. So those are some good tips. On the right side, what I did is I couldn't really pull it out because the gas tank, the neck is in the way. So I just pulled it up this way. That way, pull it up. There we go. I can get to that clip right there. So you're gonna finally get it. Yeah, I'm just now realizing I'm probably an idiot, but with the barbed side in, when you go and push this out, it will stay there actually. And so when you go to put the cylinder in, you can actually just go like this, put it into place, and then once the line is in there and it's snug, then you just push it right into place. That's way easier than, I've been fitting the line, and then trying to get this piece in here and line up those rails once the thing is in place. That's just, what I was doing was stupid. Yeah, there's more than enough room to get the line in there right here. So then you just push it in. Making good progress here. So basically I got all of the cylinders in the back replaced. I got the front lock cylinders. Now it's time for the stuff in the middle. So I have the bow cylinder and yeah, the main lift cylinders, and then yeah, there are other bow cylinders. What happened is the soft top, the state is all messed up, and so basically what you have to do is use the special tool you get, and then you can drop it in here, and you can see it here with the roll bar up. It's really easy, and you just push this to the rear manually to unlock it. And you do it on the other side too. You can lift up the tonneau cover, and then basically you have to manually lift the soft top up, put it in place so that it's right, above where the hinges are, and set the tonneau cover back down, and then put the back of the soft top down, just into where the lock cylinders go. When you do that, that's going to get you in a state where if you push your little button forward and hold it, it's going to go ahead and snap this in, snap that in. It's going to re-lift the soft top, and then it's going to try to set it down. And then for me, that's where it fails. But basically, I wasn't able to lift the roll bar. I'm at the part where I need to lift the roll bar, and it just wasn't working. The button wasn't doing anything. Once I reset the state, that fixed it. So at this point, I got the roll bar up. I'm going to start getting to the back panels. Got to take out, well, Well, I don't have. Yeah, got to take out the rear shelving. So that's not too bad to do. And get that out, get those trim panels out. And then I'm going to have to take some of the stereo components out. Because right here, straight down from here, is the bolt. I think it's 14 millimeter that goes to the main, that holds the main cylinder in place. So you have to go down in here. So got to take this out. But luckily, I've already taken my sub out before, so it'll be pretty easy. But if you haven't taken your sub out and you're trying to do this step, I mean, you're gonna need a big pry bar to bust it loose. And I just went back there behind it in the corner, and I got it loose. So it was definitely not easy, but should be a piece of cake now that I've already gotten that loose. And yeah, you just have your 3 screws or 3 nuts, like right here, one over here, last one right there, you can see. Yeah. And but before that, I'm gonna go ahead and pack my tools up and take it for a drive. So it's a really nice day out today. Just gonna go out and see how it is. Okay, just got 2 more to do. So this is the last one that I'm wrapping up right now. So I guess 2 and then just wrapping up this one. This is the last main cylinder. So the other side I got done with no problem. This side too. Just a little hack. You can basically use the roof tool, because that eye hole for the bolt is going to be way down in there when you go and put your new cylinder in. And you can pull it up, and if you get stuck, you just turn it so that it's pointing up. You can pull it through, and then there you go. The first thing I did was get the lines pretty close to where they need to go in, put the clips on, but not inserted into their final position yet. And then I put the bolt through the bottom. You can see it right there, just to secure it enough that I can go ahead and secure the clips and push the lines in. And so the line's bent a little bit as they're moving around, so that's regular, I think. I don't think there's any other way to do it, including when you take it out. Doing the bow cylinder here, and this is probably the hardest one because of the Microswitch that goes on here. And so I know the Microswitch is good. I verified, like in the video, that, you know, when you go between what Klaus says is like 85 and 90 degrees, like if you lift it straight up like this, it's 90 degrees, and I think after that you push it, it will you push it backwards, and then, you know, go like this, it'll start to click. And so that worked as planned, so great. I just unscrewed the stuff there, and then the one on top of here. And I did that after I got it loose. I know you're supposed to do it before. If I did it again, I would do it before, but it didn't get crushed or anything. I watched it really carefully as I was moving around. Took the lines out, and then I took the Microswitch off, and I just pulled it through here. And so I'm just going to keep it here safe. You can hear that. From because I was having problems getting it the cable through here. So it connects right here. And I'm just having problems getting it through here. Like I'd have to move the lines out of the way, or I'm not exactly sure what's going on. It's just there's not enough room to put. I can't even put my finger through. So I'm just going to leave it in place, and when it's pulled through like this, there's no possibility that it can get crushed. And then what I'm going to do is push it right back through once I get the new cylinder in place and the top and bottom is secured. I'm just running into a problem right now, just reaching out about it, where the new replacement part, this line doesn't go in all the way. It sticks out just a hair, and the clip won't go over it. So I just got to get that resolved, and then I'll be able to finish this one. Other side's a lot easier. There's no Microswitch. So that's the last one, and then it's all done. Something I had to do in the bow cylinders, basically, I noticed that on the left one first, what has the Microswitch, I had to put the line in and it wasn't going flush. And so something I had to do, I took this 7/32 drill bit, turned it upside down, put it here, and with a small hammer, I just very lightly tapped it 2 times, and that's it. And after that's done, some of it happened on number 85 and 87, like the top one of the bow cylinders. So after that, it goes in without an issue. Finally close to the end of the replacement. So I've probably put about 20 hours into the project, and a lot of the time is just spent like here. There's like this plastic part that goes over the bow cylinder, and it just holds the cable in place. And of course it falls right in here, and basically I got it right here, but it took me about 10 minutes to get it. So that's where you spend a lot of your time is. So I'm going to put some grease on it, see if that holds it in place while I try to get a screw through it. But I can't even count how many times I just dropped bolts in here. So, I mean, if you don't have a magnet tool, don't even think about doing this job. You're going to drop a whole bunch of times. The clips, the bolts, all those pieces. Yeah, I got another interesting issue too where, let me see if I can show it. Here on my soft top piece here, usually there's a bolt, and it's like this clevis pin, I guess it's called, and it goes through, and on the other side there's a bayonet clip. And maybe just the way I'm raising it and lowering it manually to get to all the cylinders, and then right here you can see the plastic for it has the Microswitch. And so here, if I lift up the roof, the back, the bow, to be 90 degrees, and then I just lower it just a little bit, you can hear that Microswitch. It's perfect. And of course, I was only able to get 2 of the bolts in there. There's a third one that I just couldn't get, so I'm going to try to get to that after I get the cable on top through. The last step I have after doing the, right here you can see where that channel goes. You can see the wire going across. I got to put that on. And then the last thing I have to do is on both sides for the bow cylinders. Yeah, just from working the top, it's already coming loose. But basically, right here, I gotta push this pin through the rest of the way, and then put the E-clip on the end of it to hold it into place. Gotta do that on both sides. But basically, that's it. I got all the cylinders replaced. Now, I did try as like a cheat, since I basically have all of them in place, to just work the top and see what happens. And it mostly works. There's a couple of issues. I think one of the issues, yeah, so what's happening here when the top gets folded in, it's supposed to be pushing this switch. I believe it's like the arm up here that will, when it folds down, it goes and pushes it down. That gives a signal to the soft top controller that it's ready for the next step. So what happens is that's not happening. And when you try to fold the top up, this tonneau cover is just getting stuck in the up position. So I'm going to try that as a test later. If I move things around and it doesn't go down, I can try adjusting it. You can see there's a screw right here. Also, I can just have a person try pushing it to see if my son pushes it or something, see if that makes it go to the next step. Yeah, and then the other thing is when the top is trying to be put down, it locks the front. And actually, when it gets here, you have to let go and push it again, then it locks. And then the back, it puts the tonneau cover down, locks it, and then it tries to push this in, and it just gets stuck like right here. I don't know what's happening, It could be the lock in here is closed. I've tried to go in here and operate the little arms, like right here. So to push it into the open position, and I've even like after that point got on top, pushed this down until it clicked in. It didn't pull it through, but it clicked it in until but yeah, it didn't go any further than that. And I don't know if it's just because this material is too stiff and it can't pull it taut, or what the deal is. But definitely this will need new windows. But like this is kind of like going to the carnival. And so you drop your piece there, and it's so tight that if you get lucky, great. If you don't, like, you spend 10 minutes trying to fish out that stupid piece, and then you get to try it again. And so I spent 25 minutes doing it just to get that plastic piece over the wire, and probably 20 minutes of it were just me trying to get the thing out of that crevice, and that's it. The other 5 minutes were me slowly lowering it in and then screwing it in place. So it's so it's so ridiculous sometimes, but hey, you know what? It's done. Great. Now I just got to do the 2 clips on the bow cylinder, the 2 E-clips, and at that point, like, functionally, everything is done. All the cylinders are replaced. There's 12 cylinders and a distribution block up front. There's that distribution block. So there's 1, 2, and then back here, you can see the thing that I was just working on. That's the bow cylinder. So there's 3. The other side has 1, 2, 4. The main cylinder, you can see down here, there's 1 on each side. They're the same part number. It's 5 and 6. And now I have an older car, so I have a tonneau lock on both sides. And so that piece there, that's number 7 and 8. And then right here, the tonneau lift has a cylinder. That's going to be number 9 and 10. And then the last piece that is in here is the lock cylinder. So that's number 11 and number 12. So those are all the ones that got replaced. And some of them are a lot easier than others. By far, I have to say the bow cylinder is that is the hardest one. I don't think there's anything even comparable to that. When for me, maybe I got lucky on other ones. Finally finished the job. These were the last 2 I had to do on the bow cylinder, where you put the E-clip at the end, and then you know there's grease all over it because I just put grease, and kind of got it stuck there, and then used a screwdriver to push it down. That was fun. So doing that on both sides, but it's all done finally. You know, now I can finally test the roof and calibrate each of the dip switches or micro switches, whatever they're called. But here's all the tools I used, and then basically kind of what I use them for. So the Allen key, this one you only have to use on the older cars like mine. So it's I use a 6mm. This is for the bottom of the bow cylinder. There's the Torx. Use that for the front cylinders. There's 3 fasteners on each side that hold it down. It's a T30. I have a rivet tool just for taking off all the carpet clips. Yep, there's that. Hammer just for convincing things to go through. Got some side cutters. This is for cutting this tie that goes around the boot on the main cylinder. And I obviously didn't put that back, or I didn't put a new one on or anything like that. Yeah, you just need your ratchet, the screws that hold down that back compartment. Those are 8mm. There's the bolts that hold the tonneau cover cylinders down. That's 10mm. And then there's another 10mm for all the plastic that holds the back pieces. And yep, your screwdrivers. Screwdrivers good for the bayonet clips. There's a part here when you need to take off the side, and that's something too. Like you don't have to take off both sides of this part here where this flips up. You could. There's nothing wrong with taking off both. I only took off one on the other side because that's where I needed to get to the cable for the bow cylinder. But anyways, that little clip here secures that down to the rubber. Yeah, I used these pliers for putting on some of the E-clips. I got extra ones too, so the ones that Klaus will send you at Top Hydraulics will be 4mm. Those are for the bow cylinder. Really important to remember that. But just go and get a whole bunch of those at the hardware store just in case. They're going to be flying everywhere. You're going to have a great time finding them. That's where you need your magnet tool. And not pictured here, I have a tray that's magnetic that I put all the bolts and everything in. That saved me a lot of time. So, yep. Oh yeah, most important of all, you got to have your, this should come with your car, but your soft top tool. So this one here is used for unlocking the front cylinders. Anytime that you put your roof down and you accidentally put it down too hard or whatever, you're going to have to use this to make the latch pop it out. And then this side here goes for the tonneau cover. You put it in, turn it towards the rear of the car. So that was something I had to keep all the time on me. Just put a lot of these in my back pocket. That's something I would do too, is when you're using your tools, you have some in your back pocket or whatever. When you're done with your tools, put them back in a common place, wherever your magnetic tray is, or what, that might be different for how you work, but for me, that would have saved me a lot of time, because there was a lot of times where I finished up one thing and then I went to go look for the tool and I left it like on the roof, and then you go to fold the roof back and then it just falls into something. And so, it's just really stupid things like that. If you get into a habit of putting your tool back when you're done, put it back into a place like on the floor, then yeah, you'll have a much better time. I probably spent most of the time on this job looking for the tool and then trying to get the clip, the bolt, whatever it is, out of the crevice that it fell into. And so, yeah, there was a lot of swearing involved and everything, but at this point, all of the cylinders are replaced in the car. I think I'm just going to call it for this video and then basically see what I can get done, and once I get it figured out, I'll make another video. So, later.